All right, here's a question I'm being asked since it's Valentine's Day, and this is the month of Valentine's. What is the biblical, in my view, what is the biblical definition of romance, and how can we improve romance in our marriages? And I'm going to say this about romance. Number one, I'm going to tell you what it's not. Romance is not sex. All right? Romance is not sex. And I don't mean to get real raw about this, but you can ask any person who makes a living having sex, and it's not romance. All right. And something that as you study in this area of people, that's their profession, to do this. One thing they don't like doing with the person that's paying them to have sex is they don't like to kiss. They don't want it. They don't want mouth-to-mouth kissing. So what's romance? Romance is pursuing a person with your heart and making them feel like they're the only person in the moment. Romance is giving all of your heart, all of your mind to someone and expressing that in the language they understand. There's a really powerful book out called The 5 Love Languages. And romance is speaking to the person that you love in their language. I am there's 5, and I may not get them all. One is gifts. Some people's love language is receiving gifts or giving gifts. Another language for some is time spent, quality time. They don't want gifts. They just want quality time together. And that's their love language. Another person, it's acts of service. I am married to a person, my wife, she feels loved when I do things for her. That just turns her on when I wash the dishes, when I help do things at the house. Other is words of affirmation. They just want to hear out of your mouth how valuable they are to you. And so very often when I counsel marriages, we've got one person in the marriage, their love language is acts of service, and the other person is words of affirmation. And they keep on trying to communicate to the person with their own love language, and it's not working. So one of the most important things you can do in your marriage is find out what is their love language. For Rhea, it's acts of service. So I realize that, and I'm not saying sex is not romance, but it doesn't start there. And something I used to teach in marriage when I would teach a series, sex starts in the kitchen. All right. It's something that starts 2 or 3 or 4 days. And it's something that you do ahead of time. It's a lifestyle. It's not an event that happens once in a while. So romance is time spent with a person. It's communication with a person. It's turning your phone off and putting that to the side. And I'll tell you, one of the most romantic things you can do is listen. I mean, really listen. We've lost the art of listening with your heart, eye-to-eye contact, touching the person. If you've gotten out of touch with touching, some people I'm hearing lately said they don't like to touch. Well, listen, touch is something you cultivate, and we need to get back to holding hands and touching and spending time together. And here's my final answer about what is romance. Romance takes time. Sometimes we talk about, it's quality time, not quantity time. There's no such thing. If you want to have romance, it can't just be quality without quantity. You've got to set aside time in your busy schedule to just spend time together, talking about your interests, conversing. Here's my final answer about romance. Romance is learning to have a conversation. Remember when you first dated your spouse or first dated your wife, you would tease and talk, and there was this conversation going on. You need to regain the art of intimate conversation. So that's what romance is. It's time spent together, communicating, touching, and sharing with one another.